My husband's been fighting in the war and he's been gone a long time, but he came back because of shell shock. Now he's gone back.
How have you been coping without a man in the house?
Well, at first it was difficult because obviously we didn't have that much money, but it's becoming easier. I've learnt how to use the machinery at the farm and in the factories, and now I'm getting more money and I get paid a lot more than I used to.
Oh, that's great. Did your husband join because of the propaganda posters?
Yeah, well, when everyone first saw the posters, they expected it to be really good and they felt that they needed to join the army to have a purpose. The posters lied about the conditions and that's why my husband was so ill.
He's not the only one who was fooled by the propaganda posters.
No. You should never believe what the government say.
Never believe what the government...
How are you finding the food and drink situation?
Well, we're not a very wealthy family, I can say that, but we've managed to stock up on the most important foods and it's hard.
The thing is, in my day, we only had a roll for supper and maybe some soup. That was it.
Well,
you children these days, sorry, still call you a child. These people these days, they just take food for granted.
Well, and as I'm working on the farm, I do get some eggs and...
The eggs, they weren't around in my day. They weren't popular in my day.
So,
you had to be rich to afford eggs.
And I'm looking after Derek's mum, and it's hard because I have to look after his mum, look after the kids and work, and it is quite hard, but you just have to get on with it.
Tell us more about your factory and farm life.
Yeah, of course I can. Well, I do...
Could you make me a cup of tea, love?
There's no tea bags left. That's hard to find. What was I saying? I do enjoy working in factories. I get a lot more money than I used to in the domestic services, but as soon as the men come back from the army, my job will most probably be gone. So I'll have to keep on looking after my family and find another job then. So it's just hard to get used to it now.
Okay, thank you. Back to the studio.
These things are very hard to find now our country is at war. And people need to make sure that they get lots of this supply if they can afford it. And they need to make sure that they ration it and keep it somewhere safe. Who knows when the war is going to end? I bet it will be soon, but who knows? And back to the studio.
None of you are flying your kite at the moment. Because of the defence of the real might, no kites are allowed anymore. We don't want any Germans invading our country. Any German spies that try to get into the country will be killed at the Tower of London. Just the other day we had 2 German airships drop bombs onto England. We will never let this happen again. Only 2 people were killed, but many houses were damaged. Back to you, Emily.
So, Miss Jane, what is happening? What is going on with finance and transport at the moment?
At the moment, the transport is a combination of old and new. They are currently using horses, but sadly millions of these poor horses are being killed. Because of the war, we have seen the increased use of motorised vehicles, especially trucks for transport and ambulances and motorcycles for messengers. Manufacturers have been producing up to 227,000 trucks to help transport goods for the war effort.
Wow! So, what about finance? How's that going down at the moment?
Financially, Europe is on its knees. Many industries that were thriving in peacetime have been retooled for war production. We've heard that many villages have lost some of their valued skills as they have been spending too much time producing and worrying about the war. We need this war to be over.
Oh no, that is absolutely awful. Thank you for your time. Back to the studio.